And we are going into session number 10, guys, back in Fool's Landing, where we are joined tonight by four heroes. I'm Jamie, I'm going to be the DM this evening for session number 10. And we'll go through a player introduction, starting from the left to right on my screen with Adam.
I'm Adam, playing a human cleric, Bartholomew Adams, of level 3 now, who has somehow managed to survive, I think, 7 sessions without his suit of chainmail. So we'll see if his luck holds or not. I'm not sure to be much use against what we're coming up to, though.
Yeah, you have absorbed quite a bit of damage because of that, um, and you continue to kind of just be a big wall to hit, but somehow or other you've pressed on and pressed through. So good to have you. Um, so then we've got next on my screen is Brian.
Yeah, howdy.
Good evening.
Brian here. Yeah, hey, I hope everybody's doing well. Happy to be here. It's Friday. Nothing can be
Yes.
finer than a Friday night in Gold Hill. I'm back playing the Savage Priestess, Bajan Lee Ioana of the Prior of Alana, and I'm looking forward to seeing if we can get through this dragon turtle mess that we're in. I
Yep.
too am 3rd level, and I haven't worn chainmail yet either.
All right. So next is up is Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm playing a second level elven mage. And last time was the first battle I didn't go down to 0 hit points.
Oh yeah.
So there are signs of progression here, for sure.
Absolutely.
So good.
Who knows? I might actually make it to 3rd level soon.
You are on the cusp, I think. We'll take a look at that in a second. But yeah, that's a milestone, I would say, for sure. And then last but not least, we have back our friend Rodolfo.
Hi guys, I'm Rodolfo from Brazil, back on the saddle again, ready to shoot some arrows on some thinking fish. Hope you guys didn't get any trouble. We can't get out now. I misplaced my chainmail too.
Our kingdom for some chainmail.
Well, good to have everybody here. So we've got 4 of you tonight. So you'll have 4 astonishing fortune points to track whoever wants to do so. Just kind of a quick kind of checkup here for if there's anything that you want to change as far as this is concerned. I've just got it kind of randomly assigned, I think, here where Ronnie would be our scribe so that everybody has something to do. But understandable, like if you guys want to switch anything or if you're all just kind of rotating and alternating, that's fine. But this is just sort of more of a reminder now. Any questions about any of this?
Yeah, just to refresh my memory, what the scribe does.
Scribe is for tracking inventory.
Okay.
Yeah, in the party notes. If you go in the party notes, you'll see there's a inventory and loot sheet, and if you just keep that up to date as we buy and sell, and also kind of assigning stuff to people so that if it gets assigned to someone's character sheet, it should come out of that sheet. So you should be good on that. I think the next and the more fun conversation will be the level up conversation. So, well, at least just a level check-in. So we talked about both Bart and Lee are 3rd level. So is Ronnie, right? You're still 3rd level, or were you? Yeah, you're 3rd level.
Yeah.
And then
Doing 4.
and then Kurza is 2nd level, but he is 345 points away from third level, so essentially you're all right around the same point. But that will be a big milestone for Kurza. Let's see the others, and if you pull up in the under the player character folder, I put the XP awards in there. So you guys should be able to see the session 9 XP awards, and then what your total XP should be is calculated in there. I think, yeah, so for like, I think Rodolfo, you're 881 away from 4th level, so you'd be the second closest to next level, and then Adam is about 1300, and then Brian's almost 2800. So that's sort of the current status, if you will. Last session, nobody leveled up, I don't believe. So I think we're okay on that. Is everybody good and good on level status? Any questions?
No, I tried to wait for you guys just a bit.
Yeah.
Very ahead of the game.
This was kind of
You
like
guys
the
got-
tortoise and the hare, where you raced ahead and then then they suddenly just started
Pretty
trotting by you, man. But
Yeah.
no, this is
Took a little nap on the
it's
side of the road.
well, you guys are neck and neck now. I think it'll be big, really, for Kurza. Getting your wizard to 3rd level is a big turning point, actually. So, he's still probably the one that's needing it the most and closest. So, we have that to look forward to. One thing I was gonna also kind of cover real quickly, just because I think this has come up several times and it hasn't been exactly clear to me, and I figured it's probably not clear then to anybody else. But if you look under handouts, I added a handout for non-weapon proficiencies, and I'm really going to try to use these a lot more often. I'm going to try to reference this a lot more often when you're trying to attempt some type of skill. If there is a corresponding proficiency for it, that's going to give you, a fighter's chance at it, so to speak, versus if you're not proficient and you're attempting to do something that you're not proficient with, we'll be able to kind of equate the negative, and you'll be able to see the skill that you can use to make the check, but it may not work out in your favor. So one thing is, the way we're playing this is that you guys would need to train for new proficiencies. So every 3 levels, the priest, wizard, and warrior, every 3 levels you get another proficiency. So those of you that are at level 3 now, other than Ronnie, would have one non-weapon proficiency spot available to you. And my thinking on the ruling is about, getting training and everything, is that if there's something you kind of want to shop from this list that you want your character to have, we can talk about what that is, and perhaps there's an opportunity for there to be some on-the-job training for certain proficiencies, just depending on what it is. And I'm flexible to an extent, but if it doesn't seem like a viable part of the storyline of something we've already done, like for example, one of the proficiencies that's in here is called boating. It's actually in the Complete Thief's Handbook, so I think it's a skill that's a general skill, but it comes from the Thief's Handbook. So you guys have now been doing some boating, and that would be one that, like, if one of you had a slot and you thought, hey, I'll take boating, obviously that kind of fits the story, so just as an example. But use this and think about incorporating this a little bit into your character's actions, and let me know if you have questions. If you don't have these filled out on your sheet, this reference is really comprehensive, and there's a lot of sources in here, so I will just say that we're going to limit the availability of these to some extent to at least include anything that's in the player's handbook or the complete handbooks. so we're kind of going to exclude the campaign-specific ones. You know, there's Maztica and Dark Sun, you know, source and Alkadim sources in here. Obviously, we're not going to use that stuff, but just wanted to give you the full list. So,
There's a seamanship in here too.
I certainly want
yep.
to take the eating non-weapon proficiency so I can eat something.
You can be a competitive eater?
Oh, is that what that means?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know the description of eating. It's the Book of Humanoids that come
Humanoids in the
from.
book.
So that's an interesting one. Page 94. If anyone wants to look that one up, that sounds like a maybe it is a competitive eating.
My library is on the otherwise I would pick the book to see what's actually reading.
What's going to be
But I
the
think it's about storing food for some length of time, like camels do, if I remember correctly.
Yours is cutting out just a slight bit. Sounds a little muffled too to me, but I caught that. Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Adam. I'm sorry, you had a question.
so yeah, what about I guess improving proficiencies we already have? Is that going to be a training type of situation, or like if we've used a bunch of a proficiency, can we add
Yeah.
another slot into it, or
Yeah. So if you've been using it regularly and you want to spend the slot on it to specialize, then absolutely you can do that. Again, that'd be
is
like
that
an on-the-job training thing. So if you've been using it, then yeah, that makes sense.
um yeah, I was thinking of maybe adding my one remaining proficiency into my healing skill, since I did quite a bit of that last session, actually, running around the boat.
Yeah, I would say with all of the triage you've been doing, first aid and more, you could absolutely spend it on that. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Right.
Yep. So for you, what is the actual non-weapon proficiency called?
It's just called healing.
Healing. Okay, so let's see what it would be. Because now it's priest. Here we go. Oh, it's wisdom -2. So now it'll be wisdom 0. So you'll have no negative to your healing checks.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's -1 because the healing kit gave me a +1 into it. And if I
Okay,
add
so yeah, you'll
more,
be +1 then.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it'll be right at 0 because it was -2 before that.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Anybody else have any non-weapon proficiency questions or anything that they want to
Thinking of adding
change?
seamanship.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You've been on now the third boat in basically a week. So you're kind of getting a crash course, and I could think we could make a case that you could pay particular attention to it to learn it, you know, as you're aboard the ship and you've been traveling. So, absolutely. You can add that one. I think that's a wisdom.
Dex base,
Oh, is
actually.
that dex? Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
There, see, and
Useful.
that one overlaps. If your dex is better than your wisdom, the boating one is wisdom. So it's kind of, you know, you could shop around a little bit in the list, especially when you look at the general list and then you look at your class list. Some of them overlap. So, anybody else? Everybody good on non-weapon proficiencies? All right, so let's do the quick check. Sort of, we talked about, you know, just a quick recap. It is the 11th of Flame Rule, which is on the calendar. I have to drag you to. The group is basically at this point. I'm gonna let one of you recap for us the events of last session for the rest, and particularly for Ronnie, who probably picked up from the screenshots in Discord what happened. But if someone would like to tell the tale a little bit of what is going on, I'll just kind of skim through some maps as you're covering the story to kind of show where we're at here. But this is the big picture as far as the group being off the Isle of Presper, and who would like to take a stab at it?
Where we left off was we were at sea in a rowboat, rowing frantically away from the Sahaquin as they got their sailboat ready to travel, and raced towards our pickup, who turned towards us and turned out to be a different boat, but we found a familiar face whose name escapes me at the moment. And they brought us aboard, and the Sahaquin kept on coming. They wanted a fight. So we engaged and killed them off, and some kind of big turtle, you said, showed up eventually. And the mage Belashar got shown he's not quite the leader of a ship that he should be. And I think that's about where we got left.
Sounds about right. Yeah. Anybody else have anything to add to that? So, if not,
I read the
oh,
your
go ahead.
notes, but I didn't understand who is this guy, Valley Shore.
He ended up as being the gentleman that was in charge of the boat that was rescuing us. But he's a
Okay.
mage rather than a naval person. And he let's
was the
just say
leader
that
of
the
this
crew lost
Dragon Fleet.
confidence in him. And he was forced to bring the actual captain back from below decks back up to take command. And I forget, he's the one who was on the original ship that
Winnick.
dropped us off. Winnick.
Yeah, Winnick is your.
Yeah, so Captain Winnick came back, but he was abolished below decks because he, I don't know, is in disfavor somehow, which we haven't quite figured out. But when the Valashar couldn't handle the attack, Winnick got brought back up to take command, and he managed to take us to a win.
This is Captain Winnick's icon. If you guys remember him, he was the captain who you met in Westgate. And so, yeah, I think that's
The
well
first
said.
NPC we talked to. The first NPC we talked to.
Yeah, very likely. He very likely was. That's true. And
Yeah,
he's
he was
back.
the guy on deck that on the pier when we first found our boat.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. So I think what's different now, and I think where we'll pick up, because and you can kind of fill in on some of this in a moment, but essentially sort of the point where we stopped last session and we're going to pick up this session was, and I'll show this map as well, that there was a what appeared to be like an island or rock formation in the water as the Sahagan ship was closing in on your vessel. During that pursuit, your ship was struck. The ships kind of got caught together to a certain extent, and the Sahagans started to climb aboard some of the purple dragons, who are the Knights of Cormyr, who are have a heavy presence on the ship. They were also out on the Sahagan boat attacking the Sahagin when suddenly there was a large uh, claw that seemed to extend itself from the ocean floor and straight up and down and through the center of the Sahagin ship. So we will kind of, this is where we're going to pick up for a moment, but this would be something that I gave for perspective to everybody to show you what it is that took down the Sahagin ship, right? And so the ship you're on now is not the Osprey Herald. It's actually called Besma's Bane, and it is a similar looking ship. It's got some similar features, but it is different. It's got a different crew aboard. None of those faces seem that familiar to you from the crew you saw on the last ship, other than Winnick. You're also in the presence now of you know a certain count of purple dragons that you've seen. You're down a few that have fallen into the water, but in the moment where we're going to pick up, essentially, you guys who were here and saw this and who were aboard the ship looking off the side watching this unfold, you're kind of looking now at the water is sort of waving and starting to settle somewhat after the swat, if you will, and in the water you kind of see a lot of debris floating now, barrels and wood planks and other things scattered around. You see some pools of blood, some pockets of sharks that are also circling in this area, and they look like they're eating some of the corpses that are in the water, both Sahagin and purple dragon corpses. So that's something that's sort of unfolding in front of you in the water below you. The rest of the crew and most of the purple dragons are sort of in shock about what they just saw, the scale of what they just saw, and everybody at this point is sort of clinging onto the boat, not sure what to expect next. If we could, we'll go ahead and roll some dice here, and I'm going to have everybody but Ronnie roll a wisdom check for me.
I have a couple of extra things that weren't mentioned in the recap,
Oh, sure. Fill us in.
unless it's too late.
No, I think we're good.
The
We haven't started yet.
Balashar, whatever his name is, this is mostly for Rodolfo, is basically the equivalent, what I take is this ship's equivalent of Cadison, that the Kingdom of Cormyr have this like sorcerer class of people that represent the kingdom as sort of like his leadership class or whatever. And I think when we first got onto the ship, they weren't really happy to see us. And I think that they were upset that they found us because they view us as hostiles, I think, maybe, that's how I read it. So all is not sitting very well with us and the Cormyrian people here. And then it also got kind of glossed over that this Hagen ship has rammed the Bessima's Bane. So there could be some damage there. So I hope you're ready to do some swimming, at least as Ronnie.
Well, speaking of
How well did
which,
Kathleen swim?
so the wisdom check was, and essentially, Ronnie wasn't here, wasn't on the rowboat when you guys sailed off of the island. At this point, as you guys are scanning the water line, you see a little familiar head bobbing in the debris, holding on to a plank of wood that appears to be Ronnie's. And Ronnie is, kind of hanging on. He's small enough that he's sort of hiding amongst the debris. He's not being targeted by the sharks or anything at the moment. What I'm going to do is actually switch to this map because the dragon turtle is out of sight. And I'm going to update this to show that the boat itself is sunk. It's split in half. There are pieces and parts of it all over the surface of the water. And then some of these Sahagin, that were killed, again, there's corpses that are being eaten. There's some of the Sahagin that were alive when the ship went down that are swimming in the water. And then I'm going to bring Ronnie to the token layer. So you should see Ronnie now is out in the water, floating. And so everybody passed their check pretty significantly. So you guys see Ronnie at this point, and Ronnie, you obviously are holding on right now to this board, and I'll kind of give you guys all an opportunity here to first do a group initiative roll.
Who wants to deal with the first initiative tonight?
Oh,
There we
wait,
go.
better put this up there. There we go. All right.
Yeah, based on the magic missiles that the Valashar was slugging around, he's probably around 10th level.
Please, Curza, put me out my misery.
No, we got to throw you a line.
All right. Well,
Oh,
we've
magic
got
missiles.
an 8, so you guys can go ahead
Oh, those are
and
for Sahakwan, maybe.
yeah,
Or the
adjust from
sharks.
8.
I need.
How much for keeping afloat? 3?
What's that? Oh, you're rolling initiative on your actual short bow. We've already got the initiative, the group initiative, so you just need your short bow speed.
Oh, right.
So you guys will go from 8.
Party token there somewhere.
There we go. Yeah, make sure I gotta continue to double check them on the map. Let me know if you guys have any trouble seeing. All right. So I think everybody's in. I think we'll go ahead and start. We're gonna do first the sharks. So there are several sharks in the water. I actually need to add a turn for this Sahagin. All right, so the sharks themselves right now are gonna basically, I'm just gonna give a percentage chance for Ronnie to see if they're interested in him at all, but he has a good chance of not being noticed because there's so much else for them to consume, and so they do not go for him, but they are circling in the water near enough. So all 3 of the sharks are feeding on other bodies and making other attacks at the moment in the water that don't include Ronnie. So first to act would be, looks like Lee. What would you like to do?
I'd like some explanation of the battle map. The big purple dots over what I guess is the purple dragon guard. Does that mean they're dead?
No.
That means they're still alive and useful.
The purple just means that they are purple dragons. I don't think you have a clear knowledge of who all is alive and dead that's in the water at the moment.
What was just helpful for me as a player to understand what was going on.
Yeah, this over here was the body of the Sahagin prince that you talked about as well.
Okay.
If you wanted to mention
anyway,
I killed him.
Like you said, my character has gone into an extreme amount of shock from seeing the big claw come up and crush the other boat, and she basically becomes useless and starts to recite a prayer in a language no one understands. And I'll read it for everyone just in case. She says, Alana, the forest, I'm far from home and alone. I call upon you now in my time of need. Please save your humble servant. And it sounds like I'm just repeating that over and over and over and over again as I stand there scared shitless.
Right
I'll
on.
be happy to play some NPCs or whatever. If you've got too many and you don't want to play some.
Well, I think there
I
would be several crewmates, but they're sort of at this point, I'll throw them into the turn order, but at this point, they're supporting Winnick more so than, anything. But if you wanted to do something um, specific with them.
I don't know how they couldn't be in shock either with the big claw destroying that boat. I don't think that's anything anybody's used to seeing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I
Maybe
think,
maybe if you're an elf, maybe and you've lived 500 years, you're gonna shrug it off as, oh yeah, it's a dragon turtle, no biggie. But if you're a human, you're probably like, what?
yeah, yeah,
How?
no, I think the adrenaline rush that was already happening prior to that also still, some people are just continuing to fight on as if they don't even have the time to stop and question it, and others, to your point, are kind of just completely frozen by it, and just it's triggered their imagination and fears and everything else, that you realize that there are these types of things underneath you and all around you. So
Oh yeah, my character was already scared of the sea monsters coming into this from all the times
hmm
she was on it, being scared and at the bars. And I remember I was further back on the boat. I kind of retreated, but
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, you're
You
fine,
moved
you're
a lot of
welcome to
stuff.
move around. That's fair. It could be that got transposed when I copied you over. So,
Oh, you're copying me over, are you?
oh, I copied you over to a different map. All right. So, anything else you want to do?
No, thanks for having me. I didn't get to everything in. Thanks for having me back and the game you run. The graphics are just great. Let's hope we all survive through this. But my character is pretty much not going to be doing much.
Okay. Bart is up then. Bart is on the back of the boat as well. You would see some of what's unfolding here.
I think, if I recall, did I have a rope in the water yet that I cast out to Valashar?
I think that you
Is that still the case,
I,
or is
th-
he called back in?
you haven't seen Valashar. Basically
Mm.
let's say that cast didn't catch anything so far. So, but yeah, you do have a rope in the water. And if you'd like to, you could potentially try to cast it or pull it more towards Ronnie, because it is the pretty much the same general direction of how you had already thrown it.
Yep, I think, yeah. If there's no one else on the end of it, I'd definitely toss it out in Ronnie's direction.
Okay, let's do a line here. So I'm gonna go through sort of Valashar's area there, and then we're gonna move it a little bit like that. So you're kind of able to at that point get it within um, a square of him. So Ronnie it's not touching Ronnie yet, but it's within a square of Ronnie. Um, Before I say that occurs, though, I'll have you do a check, um, because it might be a little tricky, trying to change the positioning of the line as there's all this debris and everything else. So, um, let's see, what kind of check do we think would maybe wisdom, unless you've got another that you think would be appropriate. But I'd take a wisdom check just to make sure that you're able to kind of steer the rope around and get it to Ronnie or within the
I mean,
square.
I'll take that. I mean, rope use I don't have, but if you'll take a wisdom, that'll be
Yeah, that'll be fun.
hopefully easy enough.
Yeah, you rolled a
Okay.
smashing
All right.
success there, crit success essentially. So you're not having any problem just kind of waving the rope, getting it to a point that it's able to avoid debris and get within a square of Ronnie, which I think these are 5-footers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think so. Oops, clicked back instead of So, that's it then for you, Bart, or anything else you wanted to do or say?
Just kind of yell out to Ronnie to grab the rope and then brace myself to help haul him in as soon as he has hands on it.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right,
I
that
will reply to that.
I think he's like also like you probably wouldn't even want to make noise at this point to draw any attention to yourself, because in the water around you, Ronnie, when you were submerged, you saw some things underwater. So I'm gonna have, right now you're aware of the fact that there's more than just sharks in the water with you. So we'll just kind of leave it at that. But
Blocking that images. I'm making myself think of a nice place.
so you
My head and
go ahead.
I'm another place.
Well, you're so
I'm
you're
elsewhere.
on you're though at this point, you've got sort of two arms over top of a wood plank. Um, you haven't seen the group at this point, necessarily for some time. You guys got separated in the Sahagins lair, and at this point you're in the water, and I'll let you decide when when and if you get aboard the ship and you get to explain how you got in the water. But if you'd like to try to get to the rope, I think
Oh,
you know the it's probably gonna be more of a strength check for you to swim, than it is dexterity, because you're not land based at the moment. Um, and unless there's some other trick or idea that you have for kind of latching onto the rope or getting to the rope, I would
I,
go
I'm
ahead.
proficient with rope use. It's of any help.
Yeah, why don't you do a rope use check then? Because maybe just your knowledge of ropes would make you think of a way that you could hook yourself onto it even without having to swim to it. So I kind of like that idea.
Okay.
I like it. I don't think the dragon turtle. Well, number one, the dragon turtle. I know you're asking some metagame stuff about the dragon turtle, but it's not going to generate the fear effect for you guys at this point, or for anyone that you're aware of.
We can't
Rope
fear. We
rope
don't
use
understand.
was successful. So, all right. So tell us,
Yes.
how did your knowledge of ropes and experience using ropes help Ronnie latch on to the rope?
I think I caught the rope and entangle it around my arm like a snake, and so I can fix my hand on the farthest end and with the other hand behind me, like a rappel kind of thing.
All right. So you got yourself sort of wrapped in it a little bit. Um, and it sounds like that would be pretty much it. Anything else though that you're attempting to do as you're holding on to this rope?
I, if you get a firm hold, I think I will start to crawl
Pull yourself.
to climb the rope towards the boat, the ship.
Perfect. So if you'll do a strength check for that, we'll give
I
you.
will really sure.
I see you did the rope
Okay.
use. Yeah, you did the rope use, but go ahead and do one strength check.
The strength check is kind of
I know it's not great, but it's not.
tricky.
It's more a matter
Yeah,
of you gaining ground. So in
I
this case,
failed
that just means that you won't gain any ground. You're just holding on to the
royal
rope. So,
fail.
um,
And
but
do I
there's
have to roll on the uh, critical fail table or something like that?
no. That would only be for an attack roll. This is just a strength check, so this just means that you were attempting to climb up towards the boat, and you
Yeah.
can't at all. You just can't at all. It's taking all of your strength just to hold the rope, and there's just
Okay.
no chance that you're gonna inch forward. I was, gonna give you a chance to do that, and there's just no chance for you to do that. So you're still looped at this point, but you're not able to like pull yourself. You're just hanging on like you're waiting for something to happen. Um,
I'm sure Bartolomeo will take care of that.
So Kurza's up. He said that he wanted to. He's stepped away for a second, and he had already typed in what he wanted, so that was smart. We'll launch a short bow attack for him. Let's see. Which one is it? That's weird. I wonder why his don't have the How are you guys attacking from the sheet? Because it looks like on Kurza's sheet he doesn't have the same button. Oh, is this it? Oh, never mind. I just have my screen too short. There we go. So that's Kurza's shot is a wild miss. He rolled a 2. So he flights an arrow, straight over top of everything at this point. Again, I think, to Lee's point or Brian's point, it's very shocking what just happened. So it's understandable that folks are wildly concerned about what just happened. So the next is that there are Sahagin in the water. Ronnie, as if you look under your folder in the journal, there is a picture in there, and I just want to kind of prompt you to look at that picture and take a moment, because when you get an opportunity, you can describe that to the rest of the party. But that's sort of giving you an idea of a part of what you're seeing. So the Sahagin that's in the water nearest you actually does turn towards you and is going to go ahead and make an attack roll to try to grab a hold of you with a claw. So it's a claw attack. And he misses you, but you kind of feel the water move a little around you as he's trying to grab a hold of your legs, and you're still kind of somehow or other avoiding him. The sharks that are still in the water, I'm going to still give them a chance to see if they're interested in a halfling on a string. And let's see, that one is not. Yep, okay, so one of the sharks' attention has been drawn to you, and it is moving in your direction towards the Sahagin, and it's coming towards this side. So it's kind of positioned now where it's almost flanking you. The Sahagin is on one side of you. It's not sure yet if it wants to attack you because there are easier meals about, but it is got a focus on you, so it's sort of one of those imminent strikes that I'm actually going to give it a delayed attack. So, all right, the others weren't interested, so Lee is up. Lee is in absolute shock and terrified by the creature she saw. What would you like to do, Lee? My rolls do suck tonight.
I hope they do.
Yeah,
I
you
hope
need
this
me
is
to
like
roll
the
bad.
worst night ever. Alana of the Forest, I'm far from home and all alone. I call upon you now, my time of need. Please save your humble servant. Just in a trance. There's she's too young and just a little human female. And this is the last couple days have taken their toll. She went to another place.
So tell me about then one of these crewmates, right? So we'll pick on this crewmate here, is closest to you. There are terrifying things in the sea that these shipmen have seen before, and so I think it would maybe be noticeable that this particular crewmate may not be as rattled by it, but he may notice Lee, right? So what do you think about what would the crewmate be up to, or what would be an interaction that the crewmate would would want to do at that point if he noticed Lee, and he at the same time kind of almost, is over it.
I think a good crewman would be concerned about the guys in the water and the safety of the ship. Because and I would just say that if Lee was not actually useful at this point,
Hmm.
that'd probably be what she would be into.
Yeah, so he's
And
just
I think the
moving about his
crewman would
business.
also be following whatever Winnick's doing.
Yeah, and so Winnick is continuing to turn the ship. He's concerned about the damage that it took. He's also concerned about what he just saw. He wants to get the ship as far from it as he possibly can. So he is barking some things out, but not for them. But for the most part, he looks like he's focused on
And
flight or on piloting.
I think my crewman will go over to the side and try to see what the damage is.
Okay, yeah,
Unless
that's a
he
good
has
idea.
some other chore.
No, that's a good idea. So do a just a flat 20 check or just flat 20
Here,
roll, and let's see
here.
what the crewman can ascertain from the.
Does my crewman have a name?
Yeah, we can give him. He is Corin.
Corin.
Corin is the crewman, and so Corin, you rolled well. So I would say that Corin is um experienced enough that he looks at the damage and you know probably thinks that it's extensive enough that it should warrant some repair, but not extensive enough that the ship is in immediate threat of taking on water. So
Yeah,
that's his initial kind of thought.
yeah. Crewman Corin will turn to Winnick and scream, "All the damage is above the water line, Captain or Skipper, whatever they say."
Well done, Corin. We'll
I
patch it up in the
I
moment, but keep those masts turning. We need to get some distance between us and this damn thing.
the devil, she's upon us today, ain't she?
Ah, she's always on our tail, but she'll never catch us. So, as this is all unfolding, right, but basically Bart is standing like with one voice in one ear and one voice in the other ear, while he's got a halfling on the line. So, we'll cut to Bart. Bart, what would you be doing at this point?
Probably leaning back with my feet up on the railing, trying not to let the weight of Ronnie on the rope pull me overboard. Um, Maybe in a bit of a frustrated voice, asking Corin to be, would you mind grabbing and giving me a hand on pulling him in? And I'll try and
Mm,
heave as much as I can
I
to
like
see
it.
how far if I can pull Ronnie.
So let's do. I like it. I think it'll be two things. It'll be first a charisma check for you to try to see if you can give an order to an already active, deckhand. And if so, then he'll help you. But otherwise, after that, you'll do a strength check just to see how you're able to pull. Mm,
Ooh,
right on. No, that's fine. So, um,
there you go.
yeah, so it's effective. He, it realizes sort of the tone of your voice sounds urgent. He's that close and that used to pulling on ropes that, he grabs one end of the rope as you're sort of trying to pull and not having a lot of luck with it. He's able to loop the rope around the deck railing onto a spot where it feels more secure now, and so at least you're not losing rope, into the water behind you. And then he'll do a strength check to see if he is able to pull. He rolled a 20. He's going to,
Oh,
to reel the halfling in a little bit. Let's see. Oops. So Ronnie is now been pulled in quite a bit closer, but still down off the bottom of the ship, and it is Ronnie's turn. So you're feeling the tug, Ronnie, and you're seeing, below you all kinds of things, and around you all kinds of crazy things. What would you like to do?
If there's someone alive around me, or at least that I think is alive, I will try to help. I will try to grab and take it with me. If not, since I'm firmly grabbing the rope, I will think I will take another look underwater and be certain of what I saw. If how many of them, and because the image is a little bit cropped, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it's on purpose. I
it,
think
it's
know.
yeah, it's okay. So you're gonna take sort of a more of an observation, I would say,
Assessment of the
assessment.
situation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so let's do I guess wisdom.
whatever you want. Wisdom.
I'm thinking wisdom. To kind of be able to deal with all of this. So unfortunately, you don't get a lot more detail than what you're already kind of seeing. And so that's more of a blurred image in your mind that you've pieced together from what you saw between
Mm-hmm.
times that you were going under and coming up and everything. Um, but you're still attached to the rope. If you'll do also a strength check to see that or you do a rope use check actually, again instead. You won't have to do strength
Rope
since you're
use.
not. Yeah. And if you're able to pass your rope use, then
Thank you forever.
we'll keep you right on again. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
These rolls are close.
All the
Everything is.
money.
So yeah. So really, actually, and one of the ways I always looked at it is that if you rolled right on the target, it's as good as it gets. So
Yeah.
you're still firmly attached to the rope. All right. But
Anyone alive around me?
yeah, it was actually you see um what looks like a human wearing some purple um uh accessories on his armor. He's in the water here beside you, sort of trying to tread. He's definitely alive. He looks injured, but he's not succumbed to his wounds or anything yet. He's sort of dropping and trying to remove all of his metal. And kind of one of the things that you would have noticed, and everybody would have noticed, is that some of these knights, they just dropped like rocks into the water, because they're just wearing a lot of metal. They didn't really have any chance to deal with that. So a lot of them submerged to pretty deep, and you're not
Swimming
sure.
style.
But this one
It's a swimming
is
style,
close
not
enough.
somebody got a handle.
Okay, so if you want to reach out and try to grab him, um,
I will help him. I'll help him. I'll try to entangle him in my rope. I'll switch back and forth to give the rope some room and try to get it under him or something like that, or under his arm, or anything that is out of the water or projecting out of the water. The water.
so so I'm gonna kind of look at it like almost like an attack roll, where you're trying to grab
Okay.
him and he's not resisting the grab, so he's like an AC 10. So if you'll just do like a an unarmed attack roll, or even just a D20, whichever's easier for
Ah,
you,
uh, mm,
because you're only, I think
it's
you're a
back
THACO 19.
melee or ranged. Melee or ranged. I'll try that. Yep.
There you go. So you're able to grab and lock arms with this human who has been using all of his strength to try to keep himself afloat while removing his armor and dropping some of his heavier objects. So he's got a hold of your arm now, and you're being pulled towards the boat successfully. But as that's happening, that shark that caught interest in you earlier has now seen more of the commotion that's going on here between you and the knight, and he's just kind of at this point, I think, realizing that his meal might be getting away, so he's coming closer, and he is going to decide between you and your new friend as far as which one he wants to
You know,
attack.
Jamie, I'm a very altruistic person. I will put the guy between me and the shark. The shark.
Well, now
I'm
that
a
he's
very
got,
altruistic,
now
I'm a
that he's,
very good person,
now
but
that
not in
you
the
have a
world.
hold of him, though, now that you have a hold of him, and he's got a hold of you, it's really the
And I will
shark's
shout.
choice. But
I will shout. Uh, Danger, mate! Be shark! Get out of there, but I will hold him on between me and the shark.
all right, well, let's see what the shark decides. So you want to be low or high?
He's much bigger than me. He's a bigger.
So you're low and he's high. All right, let's do.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Ooh.
he is the target. Okay, so the shark is gonna get on him and try a bite attack, and he
Oh, that's
struck.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
So unfortunate.
So he you see,
Oh, I'm so
basically
sorry.
as soon as you grab, right, and you guys interlock and you feel connected with him, you feel that movement of the water and that chilling effect of being close to the shark, and then suddenly you see it surface and take a bite out of this this purple dragon's arm, and
I'm so sorry.
you
So
see
sorry.
a bunch of blood rush into the water. You're essentially now kind of caught in this pool of blood as the shark is now um, chomped on his arm and latched onto his arm. Um, he's still screaming and whatnot, and at this point it's Kurza's turn. Kurza said he was firing arrows, so I'm going to fire Kurza's arrows for him towards the shark that's near you, because I think that makes sense. Let's see if he's able to hit. He is. So Kurza actually is watching this happen, and he is able to get an angle on putting a bolt, or actually a flight arrow, into the top, just ahead of the dorsal fin of the shark, which gets it to really react strongly as it hits it and kind of lets go right away and turns around, and appears to be sort of heading in an opposite direction here almost. So let me move that. All right, so the next thing that's going on is that, underwater there is a Sahagin that was trying to grab you previously. He is now able to easily swim towards you, and he's going to try to attempt to grab at you again. He does not get you. Once again, you are evading the grapple from the claw of the Sahagin, who's desperately trying to claw at you to grab you. The other sharks they were already out of this. Looks like Brian is away, so I know he's catatonic. So we'll kind of go around the order to Bart.
Oh, I
Oh,
Brian said he's back.
Brian, you're back.
just
Sorry.
now.
Go ahead, Brian.
No, that's all right. My character is doing the same thing.
Well, I assume that Corin, the NPC the crewmate that you're working with, is going to be continuing to assist Bart. So, Bart, you're up, and we'll add Corin to your check to some extent, depending on what you're trying to do.
Okay, Bart's just gonna pull as hard as he can on that rope. trying to wrap it around the whatever the crewman had secured it to for me.
All right. So you can, I guess, go ahead and do a strength check and give yourself a +2 to your roll, which would be a -2 to the actual roll so that you could meet it.
Right. I don't know if you can modify the rolls as they go out or not, but
Yeah, I mean, you can just roll
either
them
way,
and then we
it'll.
can, but you're good. So you successfully, with the help of Corin, the crewmate, are able to pull Ronnie up to the side of the boat to where he is actually now above the water, fully above the water, by a few feet. And so he's hanging off the side of the boat. Ronnie is up next. So Ronnie, if you would like to try to climb the rope or just continue to hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll
Jamie,
Mhm.
you said the Sahuagin is getting closer, right? He tried to hit
he
me.
he tried to grab you. He tried to grab you
Yeah.
right before you got pulled a little closer, but yeah, he did try to grab you again.
May I try to lasso him with the other end of the rope I'm hanging on to?
I mean, I would be okay with it, but I would probably give you a penalty because you're also trying
Okay.
to hang on. So,
Yeah.
I would if you want to do basically it would be
I'm using a hand on the upper side, and with the other hand on the lower side, I will try to ensnare his neck.
all right. I like it. So basically just do an attack roll on an AC 5 and we'll see how
Dex, Dex modifier.
we'll modify it. Yeah, yep. With Dex.
Okay. So I think that is here and here.
There it
Uh,
is. Okay.
Very
So,
good. Huh?
all right. So
18.
you're able to do exactly what you said, which is to get the end of the rope to wrap itself around this Sahagin who was pursuing you, and who is now sort of halfway out of the water. And as he popped his head out, you were able to get the rope to coil him and kind of wrap around him. So he's kind of caught in the rope and on the line with you now. Um, so you're able to, and I'm going to pull you to the top basically from the effect of these guys pulling. Um, the Sahagin is on the end of the rope and wrapped in the rope. So you reach the top. I'm going to clear this, and if you guys want to, you can attack that Sahagin or continue to attack the things in the water. But if we can do a new group initiative.
Okay. Me again.
Go for it.
Go
Yeah.
for it.
Much better now.
Yeah, you got this one. All right. So think something like that. I don't know if so for anyone who's attacking, I guess adjust yours and I'll hit this in ascending. Chris, you successfully you missed one and then you hit one on a shark that was that bit one of the purple dragons that Ronnie was attempting to save. So you're 50% accurate at this point. All right.
We got 3 live purple dragons in the water.
From what you
1,
can
2,
tell
3.
at this point, there are 3 of them that look, obviously alive. But as the focus has been on Ronnie, the sharks are also engaging with them, and there's a lot of things going on under the water that you're not able to fully see. But yeah, you can certainly spot 3 living in the water somewhere, kind of in the midst of their own chaos. There's
2 live Sahakwan.
There's 2 live Sahakwan that are visible. One's further out here, and the other has been coiled in the rope. It hasn't had a chance yet to try to undo itself, so you would have noticed that.
Okay.
I'll move up here to the back. Let's shoot it twice, see what happens.
All right. All right. So, yep, AC is on this thing. It is actually going to be an AC 7 for you to hit, and you didn't need it because you had an AC 2. So you plant one in it, and go ahead and do your damage. Yeah, the dice are leaning your way tonight. That's a good thing.
Ooh, max damage too.
Yeah. All right. So he's hurting. He's in some trouble. But he, at this point is more focused on the rope that's got him tied up than the arrow that just went into him. So as that's happening, Corin is still holding the rope. Lee, anything that you wanted to do or anything that you want to do with Corin? You would.
I think Corin would be all in to try to rescue that purple dragon guard if he could.
Okay. Yep. So he's just continuing to work on the rope, but he's got the Sahagin on the end of the rope too now. That
do they have like those long poles that have like a hook on it? Maybe I could get one of those and like try to hook him, and even if it did a little bit of damage, and try to like pull.
Absolutely. Go ahead and just roll a 20-sided for like an attack with a gaff. Yeah.
It's a gaff, huh?
Yeah, they call it a gaff, I think.
So I'm getting out the gaff, and I'm gonna try to grab onto this guy. Yeah.
So yeah, fortunately that doesn't connect, but you've got this gaff, and you can attempt again or in the next turn to see if you can get it to connect. But anything that Lee wants to do, or she's
yes, Alana of the forest. I'm far from home and alone. I call upon you now in my time of need. Please save your humble servant.
Perfect. Bart, you got a halfling and a Sahagin on a rope. The halfling's actually off the rope now, so Ronnie's
up.
on the top. He can let go of the rope, or at least unwind himself. And so you guys go ahead.
I got some fish on the line.
Is there anything, I guess, near Bart looking around? The rope's kind of secured to the ship. Would look around for something maybe to just throw down at the Sahagin that's entangled in the rope itself.
Yeah. I mean, this ship seems like it's more
cannonball or whatever he can find.
Yeah, this ship seems like it's definitely more equipped for battle than the Osprey Herald was. So, you would look around. You would see spears. You would see cannonballs. Both those things would be in your reach. So if there's one that you prefer over another, they're all close enough.
Probably just grab a cannonball and see if you could hurl it down, thinking it'd be heavier and might actually do a bit of damage on him. But.
Yeah,
if you use the cannon to do it, it's better, more effective. If you use the cannon to do this job,
the cannonball to do the job. Yeah, so I would say it's just you can just do a 20 sided, and we'll
20,
we'll see where you're at with the cannonball.
20 Thaco, and I'm at a -3 on top of that, so this ought to be interesting. Let's see.
Yeah, he's basically AC 7. Okay. So yeah, it's not a hit, but I'm sure that would have got his attention. The fact that this bowling ball fell from the top towards him, and I'm sure he realized it was no accident. But again, as he kind of locks eyes with you and sees you doing that, and you miss him, he then is focused on trying to untangle himself from what Ronnie has done with the rope. So I'm gonna have him just do a roll. So he's able to easily roll out of the rope, and fall back into the water, where he kind of falls out of sight. Um, at that time, you guys kind of also see that these other purple dragons are um, disappearing into the depths. There's this other Sahagin that was on the surface is turning away, and he's actually going towards one of the sharks, and looks like he grabs a hold of the shark and then floats away with the shark underwater. And so kind of, at this moment we'll drop out of turns. Um, you're able to get the injured one up onto the boat, but the others were lost. And so I'm gonna pull them out here, and you guys will be, as far as you know, on the ship now by yourselves, um, and face to face with Ronnie, who you haven't seen in some time, and probably quite interested in how you came to find a friendly halfling floating about in the inner sea. So I think first, like Ronnie, I like the idea that maybe you can fill in the blank, for the group on what you want to tell them as far as how you ended up where you did. Um, so I'll let you take it away if there's anything you'd like to kind of insert, and I know you have other things you want to share.
Yeah. Mm, let's see. I will appeal to the. I will take the fifth. Is that the way you say it?
Yes.
No, just kidding. I really don't remember how I came to be underwater. I think I missed the boat, uh, and then something really stupid happened to me. Since I don't swim very well, very badly indeed. Um and when I awoke from my stupid spell, I was in the water, and in the water there are some creatures. Besides the creatures that you saw, like the Sahwagin, the turtle dragon, dark dragon turtle, and the purple dragons, the soldiers. There was some, let's say, mm, shining people holding tridents and swimming, helping against the Sahwag and the sharks. Uh, I can't say how many of them, more than one for sure. And I think they were using dolphins uh, as pets or guarding dogs or attacking dogs. I don't know. There are some dolphins there too. Some of them are ugly. Some of them are a little bit more normal. And especially a certain lady. Uh, she had webbed feet and very long hair and no piece of cloth.
Yeah, so basically Ronnie would be, I think, pretty frantic in telling you all of this, right? Like right after everything else that's just happened, you've pulled him, to the top deck, not having seen him, assuming that somehow or other he found his way onto the Sahagan's ship, and when the Sahagan's ship sank, he was, discovered by you all, and he's just kind of dumping this on you that I saw this under the water. And so I think the image that you would have, I can kind of share the image of what he was describing if I can get the thing to work.
So these underwater men were helping the Sahaquan?
Yeah, I
This
think they got me here.
So this is sort of the image that Ronnie describes to you, of part of what he saw when he was, pretty deep under the water after the attack, where the ship split. And so there was more than one of these, what you would assume to be sea elves that were a part of some type of attack against the Sahagwan. And you feel, I guess, at this point a little bit like there was something bigger afoot here. And Ronnie obviously would have seen a lot more of it than you did above the surface. Um, so I think at this point, Ronnie, you haven't been on the deck of the ship. This is where you would have learned a lot of the things that transpired over the course of the last couple of sessions, right? And now you would have awareness of the fact that you're aboard this new vessel. You've got Cormyrian knights aboard the vessel who are working, with Winnick, and who were working with another leader who's now missing. And so you guys would all be reunited here on this rear deck, and I'll let you guys discuss anything you'd like or roleplay anything you'd like as far as this reunion is concerned.
Yeah,
I
I'm a
think it
little
was
bit uncomfortable.
Alana that was here who saved us, Ronnie. Ronnie, yay! I'm all hugging up on Ronnie.
Lee, I got a lot of water in my lungs. I think I need some mouth-to-mouth respiration.
Uh-huh.
It's a halfling trick. I see.
I don't think Lee's gonna be fooled by any of that.
It actually just must be an all male trick. All males probably have to try that trick at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you guys are again kind of just staring at this soaked halfling. I think some of the deckhands at this point would bring some towels or blankets for you to kind of wrap you up in. Just having pulled you out of the water, I think you're soaked head to toe. Um, if there was anything in your inventory, Ronnie, that would have been damaged from water, go ahead and just mark it off. So anything that would have, if it had absorbed salt water, something that was fragile to that effect, just go through and make sure that you account for that fact that those things would have been waterlogged and very likely useless. But everything else, as far as your objects, aren't lost. So.
Okay.
So you guys basically at this point kind of look behind you into the water, and after having hearing the tale from the halfling and what he saw firsthand, you're looking back behind you, and Winnick is still just kind of focused on getting the distance between you all, and you're kind of looking back into the rolling waves behind you, and kind of picturing what he talked about. But it's kind of odd how quickly the water starts to settle, and you don't see anything above on the surface at all, other than some debris, but it's starting to scatter now to the point that it's not even obvious where the ship went down. You're not seeing the dorsal fins of any of the sharks. You're not seeing corpses. It's almost as if the sea once again has consumed another, you know, uh, another battle. So, you guys would all sort of let that settle in and be on your way on the boat at this point, kind of steering again through some areas where there are some rocks. It's not still totally in the clear, and you guys will have a chance to kind of mill about on the ship. ask questions, do things like that. Anything anybody wants to do immediately here? Any questions I can answer?
I'm kind of curious. How are the remaining dragons regarding Winnick at this point?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, it looks like basically that a lieutenant from the Knights or the Purple Dragons is sort of taken over command of the group. He essentially recognizes the fact that his commander is lost, and you notice that he steps up to talk with Winnick. He tells you overhear a conversation between him and Winnick, where he basically seems to formally instruct Winnick, we have met the objective, and we should return immediately. As if to put out any notion that he or the Purple Dragons are concerned about their fallen brethren or their fallen commander. He basically coldly tells Winnick, turn the ship towards our destination and our objective, so that we can complete our final objective. And so you definitely sense that Winnick doesn't look too pleased about taking orders from this guy, as if he didn't look like he was pleased taking orders from the other guy. So you still sense the tension there, and I think this is a good spot to stop for a midway break. I think we're right about halfway for the allotted time. Before I cut to that, I will just let you guys know that there are some rumors and observations that I added to your sheets in your character journals. So that's information now that might be helpful for the next section of the session. Cool.
See you on a few.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. I'll put on our intermission screen, which that's all we need. So you guys will pick up on the ship. There's basically essentially, this tension and whatnot that's going on between the Purple Knights that remain, and Winnick. You notice again, that he seems right now focused on really getting the boat going, and doesn't want to have a conversation with the Purple Dragon lieutenant who's trying to order him around. But that would be where you guys would pick up. Earlier, Bart, you were down under deck and you were asking about a suit of studded leather armor, and
Mm-hmm.
the crewmate who was over here watching you guys walks up to you and brings you that studded leather armor, and you remember him as being the one who harassed you and wanted you to buy this, and he gives it to you and hands it to you, and he says, I've seen some heroic things in my day, but you must have some affection for that halfling to have all of you stuck your necks out. Well done. You'll need this more than we will. So you can add a studded leather to your sheet. And that being said, you guys would have a chance just to kind of move ahead a little bit, to mill about on the boat again, and check things out again. And as you're doing this, right, again, the purple dragons seem like they are present on every level of the ship. There's several of them, not as many of them as there were, and they don't look as to you daunting or overbearing, but you definitely notice that they're keeping tabs on everything, and seem to be all about securing the vessel and who's aboard and that sort of thing. So you're able to at one point find yourselves on the second deck where you're escorted to a area where you will be. I think it's this one. Yeah.
I'm sorry, DM Jamie. I doubt my character is going to be escorted off the top deck without talking to Winnick for a few minutes first.
Sure.
I mean, if you want to just say that whatever happened and I'm down there, that's fine. If this is part of the plot or whatever.
Well, I mean, you can have opportunity to interact with Winnick before we, do anything further. And you're gonna have more opportunity to interact with him. But yeah, if there's something that's really important that you want to discuss, you could do that. But I think what you're noticing is that he's trying to stay busy to avoid talking to the purple dragons. So, be do with that what you will.
I think my character would be avoiding talking to the purple dragons as well. Okay, so they're basically taking us, escorting us downstairs, or we agreeing to go downstairs as a group.
Yeah, they're the crewmate that you were using before would be basically pointing you guys towards a quarters. But also the purple dragons would be again present on every floor, so you see them everywhere you go. On the ship, there's one in kind of every corner lurking about. But this
My
room,
character will go along, DM Jamie. Sorry.
you're good. You're good. I think I'm missing somebody here too. Kurza. I'm missing
Kurza.
Kurza's. I don't know what did I do with you, Kurza? What have I done?
I don't know. I can't see me.
What have you done? There's a giant Kurza. Be careful. All right, so he's in.
He,
In the
he's
darkness.
he's fourth level already. He got invisibility.
For some reason, I cannot adjust him. He's just gonna be a gigantic Kurza. Now I'll get another one. Let's see.
I didn't think I was that tall. I'm only an elf.
What do they feed this elf? I don't know, but where is
Dwarven
he?
I'm
food.
not level spell.
I had you on the top deck, so I don't know how I lost you along the way, but let's see if this works. Level 2.
How many spells do you cast now, Chris?
Alright, there we go.
I can cast 2 first level spells. And I have used my attack spell, but I have I think a detect magic left over.
So,
Oh,
I
in the
actually,
last time I played, we discovered a ring, magical ring. We know already what that is.
No, I haven't been able to identify anything.
Ah, okay.
I need a pearl to do that. And a day.
We have more chance to find a pearl now. Ever well said.
you could have grabbed a pearl when you were under the water, Ronnie.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I'm not used to take things that don't belong to me.
So I think this is like a chance for you guys if you do have anything um, administratively that you did need to do with your gear. Um, I know that there's also some things in the group inventory that may or may not be assigned, so you may want to just double check that. But you would have a chance at this point to kind of huddle up, and then you're going to get an opportunity to speak with Winnick. So I'll kind of bring him into the room once you guys are done. If you've got anything that you want to go through or assign or talk about as far as being private on the boat, this is like the first time that you would have had that chance.
I think my
Amy,
character wants
the
to
gear
hold on
that
to that javelin from the Sahagan Prince.
Okay. I mean, that's up to y'all. Yeah.
Got it. I think I think I had one of them.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Is
That
it
sounds right.
metal or wood?
Metal.
Yeah, then I don't want it. It just disappears.
Okay.
It sucks to be Lee.
So,
Hmm.
anything else that you guys want to double check or assign as far as the?
Yeah.
Go
Yeah,
for it.
just one thing. The gear we left on the other boat in the beginning of our little adventure, that gear is here.
No. So you guys had left horses and other things on the Osprey
Yes.
Herald, and
Yeah.
the story is, and we'll just bring like Winnick into the room, or I think what would happen more likely is that someone would be sent to bring you all to Winnick's quarters, where he would have taken post, probably at the objection of the Purple Dragons, but he would have taken post in the captain's quarters, um, and he probably would have you summoned there, so you would be brought to him and have this opportunity to privately speak with him, ask questions, things to that nature. And so, just starting with, you can just definitely see that Winnick looks pretty frustrated by the oversight that he's dealing with. And when you come into the room, he's um, putting away his drink glass before he notices it's you, and then he turns and offers you all a drink, and he takes another drink and sits back. And he says, "You look like you've gotten yourselves into some deep shit."
I'll
What?
take that drink.
Hmm. Cheers. I know what it's like. Sucks to
Yeah,
be
because
sucks to be in debt to the purple dragons.
wow, is that the deal then?
Yeah. Well, we all owe someone something. What did you find out there? I didn't. I lost some money. I didn't think you were gonna make it back. There was no way. You look like the greenest bunch of apples floating around in the water when you left. But it looks like you've seen
Green
some
is my
things.
favorite color.
Hmm.
Now we're a bunch of bruised green apples.
Mm.
Some are more red than others, but
Well,
what do we find? A Medusa, a more Sahaquin, couple of dwarves, seafaring dwarves at that.
Where are those dwarves?
you sound like you've grown up. Well, I think they might join my crew.
Okay.
Your two dwarven fellows have already offered to help about the ship, so we've taken them up on the offer, being as short-handed as we are. Um,
Where is our
The
destination, Captain Winnick? I
good
was
question.
told if I survived, you would take me to Procampur. And where's Caddiston?
yeah, there's been a change of plan. There's been a real change of plan when it comes to that. We won't be going to Procampur. Turns out, turns out those marks on your arms mean something important.
So my character
There.
does not look surprised whatsoever. And immediately goes into, am I being held prisoner by the kingdom of Cormyr, Winnick?
How the hell should I know? I'm not working for the Kingdom of Cormyr. Go ask one of those guys outside the room. But what are you gonna do about it?
So I look at him, I give him a strange kind of look, like I'm a religious figurehead of an order. I'm just a pilgrim. I shouldn't even be here in this political mess. What am I going to do about it? I'm going to ask that Cormier honors their deal that we made, that I be taken to Procampur
He
and to
uh
carry on with my journey.
he pours another drink as you're talking. He reaches down and he slides his sleeve up, and shows his bare forearm, which doesn't have any real markings on it. And he says, I don't think you're going to be going anywhere until you get that looked at. Granted, you all still have them. And he's kind of looking at you and your arms. Um, and again, uh, seems to emphasize it's a big deal. It's a big deal. You got Caddison stirred up in a way I haven't seen him stirred up in before. And that's why all these damn dragons are on board with us right now. It's because of your arms. I'm just here to make sure that they found you. And they promised me that I could get in good standing if I can return with you. But we're not going to Procampur.
Okay. You still have contact with Caddison then. I guess the Sahakwan are looking for dwarven books about the ancient city of the dwarves underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps, Kurza, it might be best if we withhold our information until they see what they're going to do with us. Fool of an elf.
Look, the lieutenant
Well,
says. The lieutenant says we're sailing on. I
Where?
can't
Where?
let you know. I can't let you know everything, but I will tell you that we're going to a big city. That's all I'm gonna say. And there, I'm sure you're gonna get some fairness when we get counsel with Caddison. But until then, I
and
really don't have full control over this vessel because these dragons are everywhere. I don't trust them. I don't want to be around them, and I would advise you all to do the same. My
I
crew
wouldn't be
is
around any
waiting
of
for
you.
me back on my ship, and my ship is in Procampur, and I have every intention of going to Procampur to get my ship back and my crew back. But I have to fulfill this obligation first, and you're all a part of it.
so you have to dump us into their custody, then, essentially.
Yeah, you elves usually have a more graceful way with words than this, but that seems so harsh, I would say a handoff is more appropriate in this case, I'm just a facilitator.
You
So
tell
what can
them they
you?
better keep their hands off me.
So what's with the tattoos then?
Hell the hell should I know? I'm just a seaman. I don't know what the hell those mean, but I know you got Caddison's attention.
Hmm. Well, you said they were more important than everyone had originally thought, and didn't know if you had any additional information that might have been passed to you.
The way I look at it, it's a curse. It's some kind of curse. And
Hmm.
I think it's not me, it's more so them that are charged with bringing the lot of you to Ravensbluff. But obviously, I've got some skin in the game, and look, I'm gonna be flat honest with you. I think he's trying to save you, but I don't know.
So far, I don't think the tattoos have had any effect on us. At least for what we've been trying to do, they haven't hindered us or even helped us. So At this point, they seem to be inert, as far as we can tell.
Yeah.
So what's at Robin's Bluff?
Well, it's gonna be Raven's Bluff.
Raven's Bluff.
Yeah. I think like you would kind of actually see at this point like a map laying out on the table that would say Raven's Bluff on it, as if he was like very sloppily not trying to hide the fact that that's where you're headed,
Yep.
without saying it. So he sort of chuckles and says, "Hey, I don't know too much about it, but I know there's a whole lot of people there and a whole lot of opportunity. And I could tell you one thing, they want you to meet with the council. And Caddison's an advisor to this council. So you'll have a chance to fill him in on all your Sahagin stories and curses and things. But until then, I would watch your back, because I don't know or trust the people on this ship. It is not my own. And
They've lost their high-level mage, so they're up to what? Down to the lieutenant to take control of things.
Indeed.
What are the numbers of the purple dragons on board, Captain Winnick? Have you noticed or noted?
Well, that that big ass turtle killed a couple of them, but I'd say there's probably still a good 10 to 12, maybe. I don't know, something like that. I'm, you know, not really trying to pay attention to them anymore, but there's quite a few.
Yeah.
Where can I go to get some food?
So he'll offer you guys all another drink and say that there's food stores upstairs, or you can connect with the crew, and I know they're cooking something in the galley.
Hey, Bart's picture actually has his little incense burner in it, doesn't it?
It does.
I've never seen that before.
It does.
So, while you all are talking, he might actually sneak off and start to light that up. As it starts wisping some smoke out, start whispering into the smoke.
Oh, that reminds
Ask,
me. My character's looking for some smoke too. So I gravitate over to Bart and say, is any of that smokable?
I just kind of wafted in your
what are you
direction.
holding?
You know,
I think
I think there's just
that's not what I
wood
want.
chips in
I
there.
think Lee would have smelled that upstairs with the crew. You know, that was sort of in the crew quarters, different kind
I'm
of
gone.
stuff. So, but
It's
any other questions for Winnick before you guys sort of or you know, head towards your own pursuits? Just trying to see if there's anything else I didn't mention, but no, I think we covered what he could cover. I mean, your assumption is, I mean, for those of you that remember, he had fallen out of the good graces of the Cormyrian Navy. He was once captain of a warship, and he wanted to essentially, you know, retire. And so he did a couple of things that were not in favor, and so he got himself kind of exiled. And so his what he's trying to do essentially through this particular mission, if you will, is to find himself out with a little bit of reward so that he can kind of head on his way and do his own sunset, if you will, of sailing his vessel through the inner sea. So that seems to be like his lot in life and what he wants to do with his time, and a little more pirate-like than a Cormyrian naval captain would be expected to be. And he just seems a little more free-spirited than what they appreciate. And you can see that obviously he's a drunkard as well, and seems like just a man who's gonna be born and die at sea. So you guys would all, sense all of that as you're, spending time with him. All right, so we can go back about the ship. It sounds like you guys wanted to check some other things out.
Yeah. Just need what do I need? I need a couple of pearls in order to cast Identify, because we've got a few things that are.
I think I saw some of the crew trading, bartering on the second deck. If you wanna, we can take a look.
Sounds fair.
Side.
We have a few things in inventory that we could probably.
Yeah.
Did we determine if the quarterstaff from that Sahaquan priestess was magical or not?
I don't remember. But I think if you cast that detect magic that you have now, everything we are carrying will show me if it's magical or not.
Yeah, why don't we get to our quarters and then we can kind of do that without the.
Yeah, we spread everything on the floor and see what gives.
Yeah, without the dragons interfering or watching us.
Yeah, let me move
Yeah,
you
watch the
to.
door.
It's actually, yeah, I'll move you to this other level. In a second. Let's see. Gotta paste you guys in. Okay, what do we have here? All right. All right, so you guys should see now the crew level here, if you will, as far as there being pretty large gathering of different crewmates, deckhands, other folks. You notice two purple dragons on the deck in the back here, actually. So those stand out, are things that would have stood out to you as you come to this level. Instead of like the setup that you remembered when you were on the Osprey Herald, they were gambling in this area. What you kind of notice that these guys have set up is more of like a makeshift black market where it seems like they like to trade goods and they're traveling a lot to exotic places and they've got, random things that they've accumulated and that they're trading. And they're getting themselves into all kinds of stuff. And so this group, or a couple of them, seem to be kind of like running a little bit of a trade going on here, essentially. So you guys would have observed that, or Ronnie observed that, before, and you guys could, interact with them. I need to make y'all bigger.
Well, I think we need to talk briefly by ourselves.
Sure.
Before we figure out what, because we've got 8 spears from the Sahaquan, a scimitar, a longsword, and a cloth robe. I mean, is that anything that we want to keep, or can we sell that off?
I'm more interested in what happened to our 3 potions of water breathing.
I have one of them. I've had one of them for a while, and I forgot to remove it from the inventory. Because we had gone around and said you had one, and
I don't even remember that. So we still have
it was
3?
a long while ago. Yeah, I have one. There's two in.
All right. Well, I don't know. I mean, that's fine. As
Who's
far as
got
the
the?
Hagen spears, I'm the only one that really uses them, so I'll take one. And then I don't know, we could try to like trade. I don't know
Yeah.
who wants to try to trade these things.
I remember in my notes we Greenstone amulet. 1,000 golden pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
got that still.
I want to check that to see if it's magical too.
And
I
along
think
the
we
lines of
can.
what Chris was saying, anybody want this scimitar or a long sword? Before
No.
we try to trade it off.
You know that.
Yeah, Curza, I mean, if Chris, if you want, you can do a detect magic. I mean, if
Yeah,
you
let's
wanted to
do
do
that.
that. Before like you're interacting here, I don't want to pin you guys to, not knowing as much as you want to know about the things. I would assume that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could look at them and do detect magic. So,
Okay, I'll cast my last spell for the day then. So the quarterstaff from the Sahaquin priestess, was that actually magical or not?
no, that was not magical.
Okay, how about what's the potion from that we got from her as well?
You wouldn't really probably know,
Let's
particularly, I guess. Do you
see.
know like the school that it is that what it tells you? Like
Yeah.
detect magic tells you the school it's from?
Let me see.
You
Aura,
gotta make a
basically.
roll.
10% chance per level to recognize if a certain type of magic the school
Okay,
is present.
cool. Yeah, so you're
No.
a 20.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Dice percentage. All right, so let's do the potion, see if it gives us anything
Yep.
or not. Other than just it is magical.
It is magical. Yeah, no, unfortunately you're not able to determine the school from that one though.
Okay, the amulet, is that magical?
Yes.
Ah,
Oh,
And you can
that's
roll
interesting.
for that one too if you want. And that one
Ooh,
you recognize as abjuration.
wow.
okay. Well, well, well. Let me add that.
According to my notes, there is a wand and a ring
Yeah.
that we don't know what they are.
And are any of the books magical? Just out of curiosity.
No, none of the books that you found
Okay.
were magical.
Didn't think so, but
No, it's a
how
good
about the
question.
short sword and the wand?
So
Was there something else, Robbie? Rods, is there anything else other than the wand and something else that we should check?
The cloak from the Baron, the first Baron we met.
Oh yeah. Is that cloak
Uh,
magical?
so the cloak is not magical. Doesn't.
Okay.
and the key, né? The key to Tal Mantra.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think the cloak, in and of itself, stood out to you as looking like some kind of ritual type of cloak, that was well made. So it does have like some trade value, but and if you want to try to appraise it, I can tell you the range that you would think you'd get like at a real market, but of course you're kind of dealing obviously with limited market here and some.
Right. Well, I'll give it an appraisal check just because I do have that skill. So.
Okay.
Um, okay. Looks successful.
Yeah, so I mean,
Best.
you think the robe itself is probably worth somewhere around 100 gold. Like you think that someone would pay that for it. That's how well made you think it is. And
Hmm.
different,
Oh,
colorful and just the
so I just one other
unusual.
one. The short sword from the Carrion Crawler's treasure.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you had one short sword, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The short sword's magical.
Yay!
Cool. Let's see. Let's give that a. That's probably
Yeah. The as far as
How
the
many barrels we will need, Cursor?
and then the wand will be another one.
yeah. So the wand is magical. Yeah. Yep.
Let me see
Yeah.
if I can get a.
And yeah,
Yeah, try it.
is it?
No.
It's 20. Okay. Yeah. You're
Yep.
not able to quite tell what's going on with the wand. But those are the only magical things. If you've got any others that you want to detect this school on that you know are magical, like
That's the ring.
potions or whatever, you can try to do that.
Well, let's get
Uh,
rid of the spears, the scimitar, the longsword. Um,
the ring, Jamie. The
right.
ring from a bag.
Oh, what's in these two bags from the Sahaquin that we captured on the beach on our way out?
You had gotten some coinage, I know, from the Sahaquin.
Yeah, we had gotten a couple of bags from the two we killed on the beach before we hit the boat. And we hadn't had a chance to open that. We just kind of like picked them off the bodies and ran for the beach.
Yeah, there wouldn't have been anything. I think that was just the thing, the coinage that they had, and the other things that we already noted. I'm not aware of anything else.
Jamie, we found a bag inside a grate on the floor. Uh, I I kn- I wrote potion of healing,
Hmm
8 SP, and a magical ring that Curse
Yeah, that was already
identified as
magical. Yeah, that one's magical. You could roll for that ring. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys already knew that. You guys, I think, already knew that one was magical because you had done this. Oh, you just missed on that one.
Ugh.
But yeah, you can't tell yet
Oh, that's what
what
they
kind of
identify us
magic,
for.
but yeah, yep.
Is there
Well,
anything? All right.
we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items, 4 and a potion. We
Yeah.
can divide one for each. I think no one besides me can use the short sword. The wand is clearly for Curza. The ring and the Greystone amulet, it will depend upon what it really is.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
remember that we got something on the wand in the entry hall of Talmanthar when I cast my detect magic, but I can't remember what it was. And I've gone back to 715 in the chat on Discord. I don't think I'm gonna go much further. And there's a potion of sweet water we need to write down that we got off of Kevin's character. It's not on
Yeah,
there.
potion of sweet water.
So I don't know. Did we keep better notes?
I've got the Sweetwater potion on me.
He's got that.
Okay.
Yeah, the inventory handout that you guys should be using is the unassigned items. All the assigned items you should move to your character sheet and then remove them from here. So the assumption to me is that this inventory and loot handout contains the things that are sort of common to you all that you haven't assigned yet and could be tradable or could be vulnerable, whatever you want to call it. But if you guys agree what's on that sheet should be or not, I would encourage you to double check it and then make sure if you didn't add it to your sheet that you did or vice versa. And then
Yeah.
the coinage, you can add up the coinage and you know either keep it in this sheet altogether or
I
you know,
think I
distribute
think
it
it's
how
better.
you'd like, but
Oh, let
Yeah.
me appraise that green gem too.
We didn't write down
oh yeah,
what my tech magic did
go ahead. You want to appraise it?
in the story
Green
notes.
gem, you are praised as 100 golden pieces. You already did it.
The green one?
Oh, at the
Yeah.
bottom here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll mark it as that. The short sword's marked as magical. The Sahagwan bags are already taken care of.
Did you look at the in the Talmanthar down in those rooms? We killed some Sahagin, and they say they had some like parchments on them. Did we? I guess we didn't write those down, but they're in my notes.
Yeah, if you want to write those on your character sheet, Brian, those would be good. You can definitely say you have those.
Yeah, because I'm so well known for my reading ability.
Well, you know, you squirreled it away, whether you could read it or not, you know, is another story. But
In case I have to use the lady room sometime.
you never know when she might have to draw a picture of something for someone at random. So,
Oh
um,
boy.
Smartphone.
anything else, Chris, that you want me to validate for you as far as or for anybody? I'm sorry. Think you guys figured
That's
out
all I
what's what.
have.
Okay. So yeah, so you can interact here with this group, and do some buying and selling and trading if you'd like to. Um, that's up to you guys
Don't buy them.
how you want to approach it.
Is there anyone either on this level or that we've seen that I would recognize as like one of the purple dragons that I had treated during the battle with healing skill that I might have some kind of rapport with, or that Bart would have?
Mm.
Or did they all perish, perhaps?
No, yeah, the two on this level don't seem like they were on. They look different to you, as if you know they were probably down here most of that battle. You don't recall treating them at all, so yeah, that's just these two here. These are all crewmates up here. They're just sort of milling about or in their own quarters, which happen to all be kind of huddled together. Um, but you notice a sort of um, uh, a what looks like a half elf who is missing his left hand, and he looks like he is the one who is calling out the prices and driving most of the trade. So you know you could very easily identify that he would be the one that you would want to speak with, work with, to start to sell things and buy things if that's your intent.
I go right up to him. Hello,
Wow, hello.
or hail, however the normal greeting is on ships in this area.
He just sort of looks you over like, you know, being as unusual looking as you would be to as he is to you, you are to him. And what are you
I
looking
have some things I
what
want
are you
to
looking
sell,
for,
but
lady?
first I need some smoke right now. How much do you want for it?
Well, I mean, we've got some pipes over here. Do you need a pipe with it?
Of course.
I'll tell you what, you look like you've seen better times. You drop me a silver and I'll take care of you.
I have some gear I'd like to liquidate my position in.
Very well. Show me what you have. Maybe
I
a.
have some Sahagin spears and one of their priestesses' staffs.
Hmm. He kind of looks at the spears. He's like, kind of scratching his head, thinking, "Yeah, these they're useful,
I
but
give.
they're kind of tainted. I mean, I can't give you much for this. Let's
I'm not
bundle.
asking for much.
What else you got?
So I give him the 1 silver piece and start smoking.
What?
I show up behind him and hand over a scimitar and a long sword, and the Baron's robe. I'll hand over that as well.
All right. So who, let's say, is negotiating the price with
Which one
them?
of us has the best skill on that?
Certainly,
What
it would be
is there a
Lee.
skill?
Lee would be the most charismatic. I mean, but as far as
Oh, okay.
but I think that this boils down more to you have to correlate your knowledge of what everything's worth with her ability to try to get the best price, right? Because she doesn't know the worth of everything or the value of everything. She could just get the best reaction and probably get the best price, but you would be the one that would have to kind of validate that, if you will. So, if you're wanting to kind of just bundle everything up and sell it all at once,
They have a pearl.
then we could do that possibly. So, oh, you want to inquire about a pearl?
Yeah.
Of course, we've got pearls, we got rubies, we got diamonds. We
I
can.
need pearls specifically.
Okay, I'm listening. And
So I'm
I'm looking at your lot here on the table, and it hardly seems worth one of my pearls.
well, I have the scimitar, the long sword, the cloth robe. We'll throw the yard of silk on there too.
Hmm.
That should be worth one, at least a 100 gold piece pearl, if not two.
And what is the amount of the pearl that you're needing again?
100.
100. Okay. All right. So if you want to go ahead and do your charisma here,
Oh
Lee,
dear.
or I mean, whichever one of you wants to kind of be the one that sweet
We'll let Lee
talks the
do it.
price. Yeah, like you're. I imagine you're kind of like I said, like you're advising Lee. Like this is what we need. Like.
I'm kind of carrying it for her.
So my character's busily smoking, and she looks at the quarterstaff of the Sahagan princess and says, I don't think I want to sell this. It's not for sale. And I take it back, and I go put it over in our area. And then let's say that's when Kurza went up and did his thing, and that's when I come back. So, you boys come to a price yet?
Mm. I mean,
I was kind of looking over his wares, I think,
What are
probably,
you
because he
after, Kurza?
need a pearl.
A pearl?
Yep.
We need a pearl. What would you like for it?
yeah, you're gonna need a little more than what's on this table.
Yeah,
So,
I understand.
so you guys have offered him scimitars, spears, silk. Anything else I'm missing?
Well, let's see. The silk's worth 50 or 100 gold pieces. The Baron's robe here is worth another 100 gold.
These are market prices. We're
So
we don't have this
you've got
demand out
200
here.
plus. You got 200 plus on the table. Give me 100 gold piece pearl. That leaves you plenty
You sweeten that
meat on the
pot.
bone
You
to.
sweeten that pot, and we'll talk about this here pearl. When he pulls a pearl out of his pocket, and he's rolling it around in his hand like a marble, and so you could see he's got the goods. And he wants you to sweeten the
Okay.
pot.
Let's see. What do I have to actually sweeten the pot with?
The green gem.
All right. Yeah, we'll use the. I'll put out the green gem.
You're getting pretty good at this. He'll reach over and hand you the pearl, and he'll kind of eye up your gem as he's looking at your other goods. A pleasure to do business with you.
Thank you.
So you can add that pearl to your list and cross off those items, the spears and the gem and the all of the
Cloth.
things, so that you're anything else that you guys want to do with trading with
Are
him?
you gonna
I
put
want.
the?
Because you would all have access now. Like you don't have to wait. Like if anyone wants to jump in and do any trading on anything, for that matter.
I need some protection. I'm far from home. Do you have any shields? Wooden shields? You don't look like you trade in that.
Hmm. Yeah,
Jamie,
I've
I'm
got a
looking
I've got a
for a
buckler.
crowbar.
You're looking for a
Hmm.
crowbar? Let me see. So
Yeah,
Hmm.
I had one,
let's do.
but it
I'm gonna give you
wouldn't do leadership.
I'm gonna give you a 30% chance that he's got it, and he doesn't
Okay.
have it. So he unfortunately doesn't have crowbar. Um. Oh, there you go. That would have been. So what else were you looking for?
Just the crowbar. It's my
um.
weapon of choice.
I
In reality, the crowbar is the
I
weapon
think
I'm better at.
he might be able to like offer you it wouldn't be like a crowbar, but he might be able to sort of offer you a like a chisel that could be, you know, almost used as a crowbar, but it would be made from metal. So if the a chisel is something that you want to try to use as a crowbar or in that form or fashion, he can offer you something like that.
No, I don't
Okay.
think so.
Okay.
You have a
I'll look
lantern
elsewhere. There's
or
plenty
any
of
torch?
Yeah.
spot in between.
Yeah, so if you guys want to buy anything like a lantern or torches or anything like that, he'll sell those to you at cost, at player's handbook cost. So just, you know, take care of whatever you want to take care of as far as
Wait,
torches and lanterns. So you can get either one here.
Bart, you want a lantern?
I think he's still got that glowing gem tucked away in his
Oh, that's right. I
pouch.
forgot about those. Yeah, I'll buy some torches from
Yeah.
him. I don't know what they are, but I can take care of that after the game's over.
Sure.
So, what
Hmm.
else does it look like he has that's any interest to an adventuring party, Jamie?
Yeah, you guys noticed that he's got a really fancy looking dagger that has a the blade on it is sort of got bends and curves to it that look very different to you all. That sort of catches your eye, and there's almost like this flair to certain items that he has, like belts and other clothing that have a similar style that you haven't seen before. You know, that kind of stand out to you as looking Eastern, as if they've come from, you know, the East and from, you know, some of the areas that you would have maybe known or heard of in your own travels but haven't been to. So you would see some things like that, some fine quality, um, you know, daggers, um, and things of the like.
Zakarum wear.
Yes, you have some good-looking clothing. Anything in women's size?
Well, certainly, certainly.
Oh,
He'll just see what I can find for you, and he'll definitely provide or show you some dresses that are, again, you know, look extremely exotic to you all, like very colorful, vibrant, but patterned in ways that you haven't seen. Not just colorful, like you've seen these colors before, but the patterns look very unique and distinct as being Eastern. And so those would be some of the things that he has. On top of that, some of the coins that you see being traded look different than some of the coins that you've been used to exchanging. So, you know, you're seeing like almost this melting pot of coinage that this man has, and so you just get the sense that they're very well traveled and are bringing things back with them and selling them, probably under the radar to some extent, while working for the Cormyrean Navy.
Oh yeah, they got their own little side business.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Absolutely. How about a change of clothes for our dwarven companions?
Sure. Yeah, you could get, some basic clothing that would be suitable. Again, like something like that for the dwarves is gonna probably be, for both of them all together, like right around a gold. So I'm good
Okay.
with that.
Yeah,
Do
because
you
I'm
have
sure
any?
what they're wearing is not all that great at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get the dwarves some gear.
Yeah. All right, I'll pay the gold for the dwarves in their gear, or for the clothing and whatnot, whatever it is.
You got it.
Leo buy a dress
You got it.
if it
Just
fits her.
yeah. So dress. The dresses that he's gonna sell are gonna be 2 gold.
I got it.
Okay.
Sweet. Hey, this guy's handy to have around.
So I think you guys have, throughout this time, just kind of figured out again, like what's going on with the crew. Um, but you also don't get the sense that all the crew know each other or have been together on this ship for very long. That would kind of be noticeable to you that there's like some members of the crew look like they're very seasoned, and there's other members that look like they're not. And there's just a lot of randomness to the crew on this ship versus when you were on Winnick's ship, where you felt like everybody was like hardened and seasoned. Um, so you find that interesting. Obviously, you kind of find this black market interesting as well, and the fact that it exists right underneath the nose of the 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 knights. But you guys can kind of explore more on the ship or trade more. What would you like to do before we adjourn from this
Uh,
level? Because I'm assuming you're going to retire soon, as it would be getting late at this point, and you have been trading and fighting today.
except for Curzon, he got to use the identify spell. I think it's 8 hours long.
So yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can do that. So you guys,
Yeah,
while you're on
it's
this level, like you smell some food cooking. It would get all of your appetites wet. You would notice, that some of the crew are cooking, and one of the crew comes and offers you guys some of their soup. So if you guys want to partake in soup, that's available. They also have bread available. Otherwise, you guys are gonna need to cross off rations. I would
It's against my
say,
religion.
and I would say we haven't probably kept up on the rations. So at this point, make it 2 rations, right? If you're gonna go with rations, take off 2. If you're gonna eat or whatever from here, you can eat on this level. They're cooking their own soups and they have bread. And then on the other level, there's like a food store, where not a store, but like a storage area where you can go and get other dry goods, dry provisions.
I will
So
make 2 trips.
okay, so Brian's eaten. What is everyone else deciding to do? How are you going to
been bread.
sustain yourself? Okay.
Yeah. Bard will have some soup and bread, and maybe as we wander to other levels, I'll keep an eye out for anyone I recognize that had been treated
Okay.
I'll eat.
previously. So
And keep eating as long as soup and bread are available.
Okay.
I'll share the last of my fresh food and whatnot I bought before we set sail.
Yeah, so you guys are really, finally, like, after exerting yourselves for so long and going through so much, having like the first warm meal that you've had together on the boat, and exhaustion and everything kind of sets in. And so I would think at this point, with your bellies full of some bread and soup, you would be limited in what you could do. But if you want to do anything else before you rest, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to cut over to the second level where you're at, and you guys have this part of the ship here in the back. Again, you notice, and actually when you come back, you guys notice that there are two of the dragons there like there were before. So
They're in the room
as
with us.
no, they're actually outside the room, and just walking around on this level a little bit, but mostly in place outside your room. There's a couple other crew quarters on this level, and other passengers potentially that you're not sure if they're crew or how they're connected, but you see some others that have quarters down here as well.
And
The
the
Go ahead.
uh, the purple dragon knights, they're humans, right?
Yes, they are. They are humans. Yeah, they're
Thank
all
you.
humans. Yep. So you guys hear or I'm sorry, you guys would go into the room. You would hear basically the fact that like most of the others are settled into their cabins and quarters, and it's dark out. From the windows and things that are on this level, you can see that it's gotten dark out. It's the middle of the night. I'll put you guys in the room and let you decide how you want to maintain yourselves, if you're going to have a watch
Sure.
order or what, and where you want to be located in the room. But the room has some really pretty rustic arrangement, as far as just some crates that have been stacked together and some padding that's been put on top for there to be enough for 4 or 5 of you to be able to sleep in here pretty easily. There's a small area where you can have a fire, just a small fire to cook on, and there would be some food provisions in here, but it's not fully stocked.
So I have a big smile on my face. I say, "So, Bartholomew, what do you think of my new dress?" And I hold it up to him.
So kind of just squint at it and it's very very nice. It's fine.
Hmm. So you like it?
It doesn't look like it would fit me, but it may well work well for you.
It's not for you. So, Bartholomew, thinking if you would like it, no doubt the Purple Knights would like to see me in this dress as well.
Perhaps.
And with that, my demeanor changes, and it could make for a good distraction if we need it.
Hmm.
Was it like a charisma boost? For sure.
If you need a distraction, I think no dress is better. No dress at all.
Yes, I would have to agree because nothing I've done has gotten or gained their interest or respect. It seems like so.
Well,
That kind of soldier
yeah, I think
almost every male is not so subtle.
one of the things that
No.
would have happened in the time that you guys milled about between trading and coming to retire for the evening, you would have also encountered some of the other um, purple dragons who were on the deck, right? And there weren't many of them left. So you would have probably taken stock, Bart, on the fact that there was only one remaining soldier that you treated who's still on the ship. And again, like I think that there's a lot of shock, and you do see that some of them looked a little bit stirred by the loss of Valashar. So there's a little bit of that tension, not tension, but still, absorbing what happened that you kind of notice when you interact with some of the knights, and that the fact that they've got this new leadership all of a sudden, and but they still seem focused on keeping tabs on you guys and making sure that they know where you're at and that there's someone kind of keeping an eye on you. So that would be probably all noticeable in the time that you would have, been milling about.
Do the purple dragon knights, do they have any regularity to their equipment, specifically using wooden shields? DM Jamie?
Yeah, yeah, yep. They
So
have they have large shields.
large wooden shields, and
Hmm.
what do they carry, like a spear or a sword?
Swords. Most of them look like they have swords. A couple of them that you saw up above, one or two had an axe. But most of them had some kind of sword, and most of the swords looked like they were long swords. Although you probably saw a few different ones, but most of them were long swords.
What, like chainmail and a helmet?
Actually, yeah, some of these guys, most of these guys are in chain. Some of the guys actually have half plate. So those are some of the ones that were on the top deck, that sank. But there are a few left that had half plate as well.
My character is busily plotting, smoking, fondling her new dress, and giving dirty looks to Ronnie.
How do you guys want to proceed with rest for the evening? Because it is upon you. So,
I'd say we put up a watch because he did say we had to watch our backs,
Yeah,
which is interesting.
agreed.
okay.
So,
Curza,
to,
will you identify the items?
So if you want, I'll just pull the order off of the other tab.
yeah,
It looks like
I
it's
think
Ronnie, Kurza, Lee, and then Bart. Is that cool with you guys?
I'll go first, no problem.
Yep.
Okay.
now we had 4 items to check, identify. I got a 20% chance for each. So I'd like
Oh,
to do the
this will be fun.
wand.
Yeah, this will be fun. Okay.
And what one of the other 3? Do you
For
want
who?
the sword, the amulet, or the ring
Oh,
identified?
that's that's a great question for the group. You all can decide.
I'll leave it up to you guys what
At
you
least
want me to
one of
identify
you.
other than the wand. No preferences?
I would say perhaps the amulet or the ring, because that has a better
Yeah,
chance of any or all of us being able to take advantage of them. I would assume.
I'm with the amulet just because it's valued at at about 1,000 gold pieces. That's got to be
yeah,
something fairly powerful, I would imagine.
agreed.
Okay, so in the morning I'll begin preparations during the 8 hours and do the amulet and the wand, and then at the last minute I'll cast it late tomorrow night, and we'll see what
Done,
we've
done.
got.
Okay.
The odds are kind of low, unfortunately, but
No
All
problem.
all
We'll
right.
keep buying pearls.
So I'm just pasting the watch order at the bottom. So I'm just gonna run through it, and you guys hear things, moving throughout the night. You're on a ship. In fact, if one of you wants to go ahead and roll the sailing conditions. Actually, let's have Ronnie roll it since you just came back, and
It's percentile.
it's go to the tab for the macros. And on the bottom, you'll see a sailing conditions. You can roll there, and it should.
Really conditions.
Okay. Yeah, well, this makes sense. So you guys are still, dealing with the rocks and the jetties near the Isle of Presper. So the boat is going slow. There's still a lot of focus from the crew and the captain on keeping the boat safely away from all of that. So it's moving about in between all of this and dealing with it as you settle down for the evening. Ronnie, nothing happens noticeable. You guys hand off to Kurza. Again, you hear it sounds like at some point, Kurza, towards the end of your time, that the purple dragon that's standing outside your door very likely is walking away and switching with another because you hear a conversation take place. And then you hear some more footsteps and sounds like there's another one out there. So you're not sure if that's what it was, but that's sort of in your mind what you're thinking happened. No one
What
comes to
night
the
was it?
door. No one comes to the door though. This would be, the mid, essentially probably like 2 in the morning. Right when you're handing off to Lee.
Okay.
So you could inform Lee of it. It might even be the thing that prompts you to wake Lee and tell her that
Yeah,
you heard that.
I will definitely pass that tidbit along.
Okay. Um.
So my character will go to the door.
Mhm.
I'm gonna open it and see who's out there.
So when you open the door, you see the human. You see a human knight standing out there. He's got a long sword. He's leaning against a crate, and he looks over at you. Something wrong, princess?
I'm no princess.
Hmm.
Tell me, where are we going?
Well, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you safely to what's his name? Oh, Caddison?
Uh huh.
Yeah, that's where we're headed. Wouldn't be worried.
I stare at him for a while.
It's your first time on a boat? So, I mean, I think, obviously he would be kind of looking in the room as the doors open, seeing the arrangement of how everybody's laying in the room. And so you might notice that, right, that he's taking a visual of the room and whatnot as you're talking to him.
Who's your superior officer now? By name, please.
Oh, Lieutenant Elrack.
How did you come to be on this boat?
Yes, my squad was asked to come and uh, accompany the group towards recovering our objective.
The objective. Do purple dragon knights often travel on Cormyrian ships? I know nothing about your kingdom. And under my breath, I kind of say, and nor do I care.
Says, yeah, I don't normally, but I'm here now and making the best of it. I see you are making yourself comfortable there as well.
I fail to understand your meaning.
Mm. He's just kind of, again, just eyeballing your room more than anything, and not making any, move to stop you from milling about or anything. So you do see the other one over here as well. Is kind of looking over as you're having the conversation. Towards him. They're kind of like making eye contact with one another as he's answering your questions.
I go over to the other one. How long have you been working for the King of Cormier?
He just sighs and looks at you. I don't have time for you, girl. Go away.
Oh. Mhm.
You get a little bit more stern, response from this one. He looks a little bit more seasoned than the one that you talked to as well.
Because clearly standing here is taking up so much of your time.
Hmm. He starts you notice that he doesn't do a good job of neither one of them do a good job of hiding their eyes. They just not only does you get the sense that he looks you over, but you also get the sense that he looks specifically at your arm, like he's trying to see your arm and what's on your arm.
Oh.
But he doesn't say anything about it. And when he notices that you notice, he stops looking. Not as if he's afraid that you saw him looking, but that he doesn't want to talk to you about it.
How long until we reach our destination? To the first one that seems like he's younger.
It might be a couple more days. You should get comfortable. Make yourself at home.
And I'm free to travel around the ship.
Surely. Of course. Just don't
Good night.
interfere with the captain.
Good night. Close the door. Asian leaves and her little spy missions in direct.
So
It's just like she just doesn't even try to hide what she's doing.
So what we'll do is I'm gonna fast forward through to the morning. There wasn't anything else that caught your attention. I assume Kurza's preparing his spell, um, and you
First.
guys. Mhm. And are you so basically you'll cast it tonight. You'll cast it on this evening, correct?
Yeah, I'll get breakfast, prepare all the items over the next 8 hours, and then cast it, and we'll see what happens.
Very good. So then that means you guys will have the opportunity then to again, mill about the ship, interact with anybody you might want. The thing that though I would like everybody to do first. So we'll do two things. When you cast your spell, Kurza, when will you actually then um obtain the knowledge of the item? So you'll roll
It's a the spell is actually only like a 2-round spell because one
Mhm.
round to do the first item, second round to do the next item, and that's about it. But it's the 8 hours is the preparation of the items and the removing of auras and other contamination that might, you know, um, block the proper reading, so to speak.
Okay.
And if interrupted, I have to start over again on the, and it doesn't. But the spell is never actually cast until the end.
All right. So that's unless there's any other pressing business, let's fast forward to that and give you a reading or give you a chance to determine those items. And then we've got a couple other things before we close it out here in just a few minutes. So, did anybody else have anything else they wanted to take care of during this same day while Kurza's preparing that spell and casting Identify?
I do have one thing, DM Jamie.
Go for it.
My character definitely wants to wander about the ship and in her own little spying and plain sight style try to confirm that we're 2 days away from wherever we're going. That would be trying to make sure that I have a good idea of how long it's going to take to get there. Whoa, look at that.
Yeah,
Somebody
cool.
dropped
Thanks, Ronnie. Dropped it in there. The details.
Yeah.
So it's 10% per level.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Mark's just going to be using all his cure light wound spells basically throughout the day.
So you can actually
Trying to
use
recoup
those.
everybody.
You could use those. Ursik still needs one. Or not Ursik. Jaitu. Ursik is healed now. Jaitu is still low. I know Beijing or Lee is low. So you might want to focus on those two.
Did I gain 1 hit point
Yeah.
overnight?
Yeah, you'll gain 1 hit point or your Constitution modifier, whichever one.
Yeehaw! I have 5 hit points.
All right, I'll take my 1.
So if I have a cure light for Jai2, I've still got 4 left. So
Okay, yeah, so you
Um,
could start dishing those out.
yeah, so
Absolutely.
whoever, if everybody needs one, go ahead and, I mean, I'll need one for myself at least, and then whoever else wants one of those.
I am 8 for 18.
Hey, all right. To the D8, right?
Yeah.
So here you go, Ron.
Oh. Hey, you want an Astonishing Fortunate? We
Sure.
haven't used any, and we're probably not, so yeah.
All right.
There you go.
That's a little better.
Why not?
There you go.
Much better. Thank you.
And then, Kurza, did you need one as well, Chris?
I'm at full now.
Okay.
Yeah, one good and
Brian,
bad
is
thing about being a wizard at a low level is that you don't need a lot to be full.
Yeah, it's still
No
single
level
digits.
character
So
does.
Did you want me to roll for a Shy 2 for
Yeah,
your
if you
life as
would.
well?
Yep.
All right.
Okay. That's alright. Well, he'll take the
Fortune.
one.
How about for
Thank you, friend.
Fortunate.
Big and Lay?
Lee needs as many as you
Lee?
can give her.
All right, I'll give one for Lee. So there's 4 hit points, and then
Thank you. Oh, thank you so
Oh.
much, Lady
I'll
of the
kinda-
Mist Priest.
I'll kind of whisper back to myself and turn inward for the final one. So, all right.
I'm at 9 hit points now. Yay!
So I think so. That was all 4 of yours. Okay. Yeah, because you did the
Yep,
one.
that's,
Okay.
that's all of them.
All right, and you've got 3 fortune left. Okay. So, I think Lee, if you would like to roll a charisma check, let's do it this way: charisma and intelligence, and you got to pass them both. Um, and if you do pass them both, I'll give you an estimate on what you think the time will be.
That's terrible.
So you know it's more than 1 day, but you're not too sure beyond that. You haven't been able to get the full details. So, but you've tried all the angles. Maybe the dress was just not low cut enough. Maybe it needed to be tailored. That would be a good non-weapon proficiency for you. So you should definitely take a moment to look at those. But the thing I would say at this point is that yeah, you guys can do your identify. So Kurza, if you want to do the roll and just tell me which one you're gonna do in order, and we'll step through it, and this should be interesting.
can I do the? If I need to, can I use Astonishing Fortune to re-roll them?
I guess so. I don't have too big of a problem with that, to be quite honest with you. It's a 20% chance, so if you're gonna spend it to get a 20% chance, then
It's the end of the
so
night.
be it.
So
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I think that's fair.
well, unless anybody else has an objection, of course. So, but let's do the wand first. Oh, can I use an Astonishing Fortune for that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You get.
All
Well,
right.
that's between you and the group, but yeah.
No, yeah.
All right then. Oh,
Yay!
we got
Oh, My goodness. So
Wise decision, my matter.
okay, so let's keep going, and I'll give you
Yeah.
them all
The
kind of at once. So
the amulet on the the 1,000 gold piece amulet. Let's do that one next.
Greenstone amulet.
Oh man,
well, man,
another astonishing fortune for that
you
one.
really
got
didn't feel
one
Use the
left.
last
comfortable
one.
with that one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We should have one left.
So you have one
section
left. You have one left.
All right, last one.
Mm.
Oh.
And this is for.
23 force.
Well, you
That
still.
amulet is proving to be difficult.
Yeah, yeah. That is not giving you a read. Unfortunately.
Well, we'll have to try it at a later time. So I guess the question is, what is the wand?
So yeah, let me give you the wand real quick.
The ring and the short sword failed.
Well, I can only identify 2 items, so
Right.
the
Yeah.
those are
Right. One per level. Right.
He's like
yeah.
double kind of he's got 2 gates to go through just to find out what's what.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to find my 1 second.
I'll just drain all my money into pearls.
Yeah, no. This
I want to grow them myself.
We'll buy more.
so you're able to determine that this wand is actually what's called a wand of earth and stone.
Wand of earth and stone.
Yep.
Interesting.
Very nice.
All right.
So I'll let you kind of look that up. Let's see, but the general description that I'll kind of give you without reading the whole thing is that it's got a mineral on the tip of the wand that is imbued with some power, and depending on how many charges you want to use, you believe that you could pass wall, move earth, or dig potentially with it. You could let's see. So actually, roll me a percentile, another percentile, and roll under 50.
Oh yeah.
Was that your roll?
28.
28. So
One.
your wand actually also has the ability to do transmute rock to mud.
Oh, that could be useful.
This one rock.
And the reverse, mud to rock. So it can, with a charge, it can do a half charge does dig, 1 charge does pass wall, or you can use a charge to do transmute mud to rock or rock to mud, and then 2 charges would move earth. Does identify tell you specifically the amount of charges that it would have left?
I would think so, but that's kind of up to you.
Yeah, I don't
But
know how that works. So
I think it would be just the easiest to use that way.
yeah, I'll
if
look
it
into
did.
that before I throw it out there as far as what it is. But you certainly know that it's a wand of earth and stone.
Okay. DM's guide, I take it, will have the.
Yeah, it doesn't have much more than what I just said in there, so it doesn't talk much about how it's charged or anything. So I'm gonna double check that, see if there's another source. Maybe the Encyclopedia Magica has some more information on it. We'll see. But yeah, you're welcome to look that up. It's page 108, I think, is where the wands are listed, and then it's just in the description right after that somewhere. So,
Okay.
but yeah, that's where we'll kind of cut it off, I think, because I know I want to be respectful of your all's time, and you're essentially, continuing to sail towards Raven's Bluff is your belief. And as you're doing this, and as this day goes on, and Kurza has done some divination that has impressed all of you that you haven't seen before, as he consumes this pearl to tell you specifically, what this wand does. At that time and later in that evening, all of you start feeling a little bit ill, and you're not sure exactly what it is that's got you ill, but you feel, starting with some nausea, not well. And so I'm going to have you guys actually each roll a savings throw versus poison.
Oh, goody.
Oh, I see a cat.
Aye, aye, aye.
The bastards have been poisoning our food.
Let's see. Throws.
Okay,
Saving
Ron,
throws, huh?
we got one save, one fail. Ooh, another save. Crit save.
Is that it right there?
Save. All right.
That sucks.
So that's all 4 of you. Okay, so for those of you that failed, you're going to take 4 points of damage. You just feel like your guts are chewing themselves up inside right now. You're retching. You feel not seasick, but something more severe. For those of you that saved, you just feel nausea. You're able to kind of somehow or other not get twisted up as much with it, but you would notice, one another would notice the others being ill. And before we kind of get into any of those details, that's where we'll park it, and that's where we'll pick up in the next session, where you're at sea and some of these effects are starting to take hold of you. So good session, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
It
DM
was fun.
Jamie.
It was a lot of fun,
A lot
and
of fun, Jamie. Thank you.
yeah, it was good. I mean, a little less combat, right? A little bit more informational this time. But you've got yourselves oriented pretty well to at least make contact and figure out what's going on. And I'll post more in the Discord. And it's been a good 10 sessions. And I think I'll give a special shout out to you guys who've been here. I think some of you have been here for all 10 of them, so I appreciate that. But I appreciate all of you guys for coming and playing the game on a Friday night when there's a million things to do in the world. But this is super fun, and we'll keep going. So thanks for the good times. And
All right, we'll see you next time, guys.
may the dice be with you.
All right. Good night.
Thanks, Jamie.
Take care, y'all. Take care. Bye-bye.